I grew up in the Bryant area, and the Seafair races used to be at Sandpoint, when I was a little kid. So we would hear the hydroplanes that like all week long, and you'd be so excited. And the Goodyear blimp would come that week, and you'd sleep out in the backyard so you could watch the Goodyear blimp and the cartoons, like Snoopy would be on there or something, I don't remember. But then going down to the races, my favorite boat was the Atlas Van Lines for whatever reason. So I had a poster. And I think, in other cities, kids just don't get hydroplane racing, and grown-ups now don't get it. But here we have this thing, and like we had models of hydroplane boats, the boats you loved, and you'd save up money from your paper route to get some plastic hydroplane. And every year I try to be here for Seafair. I try. If I'm touring, I feel like I miss something. Seafair weekend. Still every year, 48 years later, I feel like I miss something if I'm not here. And we go to a party that's right above it in Leshai at some friends of ours every year, and watch. And of course the Blue Angels every year terrorize our neighborhoods, and the dogs go crazy.
And this year you're here for a reason, not just to watch, but to participate. Talk about when you were asked to be the Grand Marshal, the Grand Poobah.
Yeah.
What that means for a native son.
Well, so I got this email. I work in L.A., so I have a wife and 2 daughters, and so our kids, they go to school in L.A. because you have to put your kids in school, unfortunately. School gets in the way of my good time, by the way, their school. So I was down, and I get this email a couple months ago about, it says Seafair, the heading, Seafair. Yeah, cool, what? What? Some party? And no, they asked me to be the Grand Marshal. I'm reading this thing, and it's got all these events, and would you be the Grand Marshal in the events? And I'm with my 11-year-old daughter, May. I'm reading down, and I see there's a parade. And I said, and I hadn't said yes or no. I was just reading I said, May, do you want to be in a parade, the Torchlight Parade this year? Yeah, like in a car thing? And yeah, do you want to go see the Blue Angels come in? Yeah. Do you want to ride on a boat or something? And yeah, so that was really like her reaction. And for me, of course, it's a position. I'm more powerful than the mayor and the governor combined now. So there's going to be some new rules in town. I don't expect people to treat me any differently, but there are some demands I have.
Like
and well, I should be addressed as either sire now. It's not too much to ask. Grand Poobah, it's Poobahness, whatever. The pirates are. I have henchmen now who will do my bidding. There's some things I needed Sonic's back, so I'm going to take care of that. Yeah, there's a bunch of things. My daughters must listen to me. That's one of my edicts. I require a carriage with horses. Just little things. I don't want people to treat me any differently, but there's just requirements. A robe.
Sure.
I need a robe and maybe some hat.
I hope Melissa's paying attention to all this.
They know. They know my demands. And my henchmen, whatever demands people don't kind of assent to, my henchmen will come after you, and that's it.
So people should be warned.
Put on notice a little bit. Traffic, there's going to be some traffic things you have to wear, if you're going to, like different clown shoes on different days, you'll be able to drive if you're wearing the blue clown shoes, and if you don't have those, you can't drive that day.
Wow.
And yeah.
You're the first one, I think, to take such an active role.
Yeah, it is an active role. People can't drive on Montlake around the Husky Stadium anymore, except for me and some of my buddies.
Get rid of traffic in your neighborhood.
In my neighborhood,
yeah. Let's talk about the Sonics. You were involved in the rally down at Pioneer Square.
Yeah.
Talk about your memories from that night in 1979. I remember where I was when they won. That night and what bringing the Sonics back means.
Well, it's a tough one. I'm that Sonics fan like the rest of us, and when the Sonics left, it ripped my heart out. And I love the Seahawks. I love the Mariners. But Sonics were a different part of our fabric of the city, I think. And the rally last week, 2 weeks ago, really drove that point home for me. I saw there was about 6,000 people there. And the makeup of that crowd, it's different than a Mariners crowd. It's different than a Seahawks. Maybe it's more like a Seahawks crowd, but there's only 8 home games. We had 41 chances a year with the Sonics to come together as a city. And the makeup is every race, both sexes, every sort of different whatever. And I saw a guy at that rally, a guy who probably lived at Occidental Park. And they were passing out these green shirts at the thing. And everybody had one. And this guy who lived in Occidental Park, like a street guy, with a beard, long beard, he had the shirt on, with another guy who just come from suit and tie, maybe a lawyer or a financial guy, hair slicked back, cool, Mr. Cool, with the green shirt over his suit and tie. These guys were arm in arm with their fists in the air when Gary Payton came out. And didn't matter who you were, what color you were, anything. We were all together for that one thing. And that reminded me of what the Sonics brought to this city. And I think that team leaving has really, now we're kind of in our separate places again, you know. And separation in a city our size is not good. And I think it's the loss of that team has had far-reaching, further than just the NBA and a basketball team. So us getting that city back, I think that the spirit of a city counts for a lot. Production and obviously jobs and all of that. I won't get into the political aspects of it, but I just want my Sonics back. I want my city back, that Sonic spirit of the city.
Enough to do something. I mean, you're out there in the front, you're using your renown, your familiarity, your face, your name, to hopefully get them back.
And it's good for music in this city. I think it's good for everything. I mean, the songs, you would go to the Key Arena, and they would play Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and Nirvana. They play local Screaming Trees. They would play Presidents of the United States. And it was just, it was us. You know, it's just good for everything in this city. So I will knight Chris Hansen. That's one of my first orders of business. Melissa? Yeah. Do I have a knighting thing? What do they call that? What's a knighting thing?
A sword, yeah. I think
a sword,
right.
Yeah.
Just be careful. Don't cut his head off. We need him.
Right, we need him. I'll use the blunted sword for Chris. Yeah, I'll have a sharp sword and a blunted sword. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Thanks for throwing that out.